Do you ever wonder who actually sets the policies that the government follows? I do. And in that regard, I wanted to play you this very short little video of Tony Blair spelling out how he thinks things are going to operate. Give this a listen.
I think you will get to the stage where it's going to be very hard for people to do a lot of normal life unless they can prove their vaccination status.
Yeah. So just notice that. So this is Blair a little while ago spelling it out. And if you just look at him, it's really clear what he's saying. They're going to make life so hard on anyone who dares not to accept the vaccines.
I think you'll find a situation where countries say to you, you're not coming in here unless we see whether you've either been vaccinated, you've had the disease and have got antibodies, or you've had a recent high-quality test. And so if people have got to understand vaccination is going to be, in the end, your route to liberty. Vaccination is going to be, in the end, your route to liberty. Vaccination is going to be, in the end, your route to liberty. So you may think it's a constraint on your liberty, you've got to go and get vaccinated.
Well, of course, vaccination, mandatory vaccinations is an absolute restraint on your liberty. Goes without saying that there. But of course, this was Blair talking a little while ago. And it's perfectly obvious. I think Blair is echoing, let's say, a more globalist view of this. I'm sure you'd agree with that. And the thing is that I read in the press that apparently Tony Blair and Michael Gove are now meeting to discuss vaccine passports. So it seems to me that Tony Blair and the Conservative government, along with many others, are fully aligned along the lines of the only way you're going to be able to have a life in the UK is to take your vaccine. Even if you're not at risk of it, of COVID-19, you're still going to have to take it. Even if you've got either moral or ethical objections or scientific objections, you're still going to have to take it. Just take the vax, bigot, and shut up. That seems to be where we're going to this one. But you might say, well, that's Tony Blair. I mean, we can really trust our own government, can't we? We can really trust guys like, hang on. I think we have a problem. What do you think? And actually, on that one, people have been sold so many false visions. The government's really good at that. So they were all told that, look, be very good, little boys and girls, get your vax, and you'll be able to have a cracking summer holiday. Yeah? Oh, right. Oh, dear. So comes the news today that foreign holidays are unlikely to be legal until August. Amidst warning that people booking trips before being very optimistic. So this is the government basically. They've kicked the can really now into August, and all they have to do is get it kicked from August into September, and you're back into lockdown. And the government will have successfully ruled the people into getting vaccines, and all in exchange for nothing. Isn't that truly remarkable? And to be fair, some politicians do see this and warn about it. And I want to bring up these couple of tweets from David Davis. And you can see what he said, and I completely agree with this. In the first tweet, he says, the government is using certification or the threat of certification to solve a problem that's not there. Most vaccines dramatically reduce the risk of serious illness and death from COVID to near zero. He's right. This transforms the requirements of any strategy to deal with the environment. He's right. But then the punchline. The real aim of vaccine certification is to coerce people to get vaccinated. This is wrong. Vaccination should be a free choice. But you've heard Tony Blair, and I believe many others in the Conservative government believe that vaccination is not going to be a free choice. In this regard, David Davis is absolutely right. The COVID vaccinations have been given to overwhelmingly the most vulnerable people, where COVID actually represents a threat. But the government isn't stopping there, and we all know that. The government's going to continue. It wants to vaccinate all age groups, including and right down to 6-month-old babies. That's what this government is intent on doing. And in order to achieve that, it will threaten, it will cajole, it will restrict, It will make people's lives an absolute misery if they dare oppose taking this vaccination. So, but then you might say, well, I mean, look, Boris, he's got a tough job. He's got so many issues to consider. Here's the Prime Minister last night. Tonight, we join millions around the globe in switching off our lights for Earth Hour 2021. We're committed to protecting the environment as we, get this, build back greener. Gosh, Klaus Schwab must be so proud of our Prime Minister. Although I did wonder, actually, had Carrie actually gotten hold of Boris's Twitter account and pushed this one out? But I think it's quite a good metaphor. Literally, the lights are going out in Downing Street as our liberties go out across the UK, and all in pursuance of this mandatory vaccination, which this government, very much like the Israeli government, is determined to push through. And the problem is that the British people then essentially are turned into lab rats for one big experiment. Because remember, nobody understands the medium to long-term consequences of the COVID vaccinations. We simply don't know. There mightn't be any, or there might be some very serious ones. Ordinarily, prudence means that you wait. But in this case, prudence is out the window, and already 25 plus million Brits have taken their vaccinations. I think a couple of million of them have now taken 2 vaccinations, and we know by August the government intends to push a third booster vaccination into specific cohorts. So basically, the British government is treating the UK as a giant pincushion. Jab it as often as possible. And when you listen to Tony Blair's words and you'll see what the government does, you really do wonder who's pulling the strings. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, folks, and catch up with you soon.